Hey everybody, it's Lainey Lipsky with Parenting Parachute, and I am here to talk briefly with you about something that I hear a lot about from parents. Um, and just letting you know, I'm broadcasting today from what I'm calling the Bat Cave, which is my son's room, because with summer vacation going on, like most of you, the normal schedule of things is just kind of flipped on its head or on its side or whatever. And so I am humbly and gratefully broadcasting from his room, and he cleaned it up for me to be doing this for you today. So I just want to give him some props. So what I want to talk to you about today is this notion of finding the sweet spot in your parenting. And so many parents come to me saying they're on one side or the other and they can't find the sweet spot. And what I mean by one side or the other is that they are either yelling too much and they're feeling terrible about it, or they're on, like too rigid, like too many rules, and because I said so, and they're kind of in this authoritarian role in their families where they feel like they're a police officer most of the time, and they just don't want to feel that way. They're not having any fun. They're like the bad guy parent. Maybe if there's another parent at home, the other parent is more like the fun cop, and this, it's like good cop, bad cop, and one parent is really stuck in this bad cop role, and they want to have more balance in their lives. But what happens, well, let me start by saying the other side is people come and say, I'm just too wishy-washy and I don't have any structure and I don't really know how to set boundaries, and they're trying to get a little bit more clear and have more of a backbone in their parenting. And so what tends to happen, what I see again and again, is that parents who start off being feeling like they're in too rigid of a role, when they go to make change, they flip and they go over to being extremely passive. They just kind of unplug or try to, do this like fake mellow thing and say, well, whatever, it's going to be okay. And they just stop setting boundaries at all because they got so tired. They just, completely disengaged, because it's so exhausting to be that kind of parent who's on every single thing all the time, monitoring, micromanaging. It's like its own job to micromanage everything that's going on at home. And it frankly is an exhausting way to parent. So if you're doing that and you're not feeling good, there's nothing wrong with you for doing that. It's a way that many people were raised, and they don't know how to get out of it. They don't know how to get out of it because the opposite seems so scary to them, right? And so just out of pure exhaustion, they will do the opposite thing. They will just completely be like, you know what, whatever, I'm going to stop micromanaging. I'm not going to do anything. You guys figure it out for yourself. Has anyone done this? Like, just give me a thumbs up or raise your hand or a heart or whatever if you've done this before. I'm done. I'm not waking anybody up in the morning, and, everybody can make their own breakfast if your kids are older, and I'm not making anybody's beds anymore. Everybody's going to be doing their own thing. And it's, everyone's going to have to figure out how to do this on their own because I'm done. That's the sign of a parent who has been absolutely on this one side of parenting for too long and is overwhelmed, is exhausted, and is resentful. The other side of this coin is when parents have been existing in this very passive, not relaxed, but like a passive way of parenting, where it's like, they'll kind of work things out or people figure it out, and really not leaning into any kind of conflict that's going on at home. And the reason they do this is because they're actually avoiding conflict. They're actually wanting to not rock the boat. They want things to be peaceful, but in an effort to create peace, they actually end up creating resentment. Those are some of the most resentful parents who I talk to, who are like, I'm trying to be this nice parent and I'm trying to do things for my kids, and I try to not set too many rules, but everybody, breaks the rules anyway, and steps all over my boundaries, and I have no time to myself. And they also feel very exhausted and kind of worked by parenting because they're not setting any boundaries. And so I talk to people who find themselves on both of these sides of the coin, both these extremes, and both of them are really real. And if you're somebody who is suffering from being stuck in one of those roles, or you find yourself flip-flopping, right? That's actually what I wanted to talk about next, was that if you're on one extreme or the other, you fall into one of those categories that I just described. The tendency for most people is to flip to the other side. So the person who's being really passive and really kind of like whatever flips over when they get resentful and they've had enough. They flip over to the other extreme of being too rigid. Okay, now we're going to have rules, and we're going to do this, and we're going to have a schedule, and we're going to, you know, everybody's going to, you know, be on board, and everyone's going to have chores, and it's like, you know, the hands start clapping, and the, you know, the whistle starts going, and it's like, whoa, everybody is just kind of freaked out by this sudden change. And it's the same reaction that the family has when a parent who's been too rigid suddenly disengages. So that's what I mean by flip-flop parenting. If you find yourself going from one extreme to another, then you are caught in this cycle of flip-flopping. And there's nothing wrong with you if you're caught in this cycle. It just kind of sucks, if I'm being honest, right? Because it's like impossible to find the way. It's impossible when you're constantly going from one side to the other. What happens is you start probably looking up things on the internet or looking at blogs to say, well, how do I, you know, do this other kind of parenting that I haven't been doing that's not really in my nature, right? And then you start getting all of this conflicting information. You start getting all of this bad advice from people who mean well, but it's advice that's not going to work for you. And I'm going to insert this concept as well, that if you have a challenging child, right? A child whose emotions make parenting just exponentially harder than parenting a kid who has a much easier temperament. So their moods, their behaviors, their emotions make parenting harder than usual, with or without a diagnosis, doesn't matter. You are playing a different game, and you are probably more prone to be doing this flip-flopping, right? And you are going to be getting advice that is not going to work for your particular family situation, because most parenting advice is actually written for very easy temperamented kids. And I personally love kids who have challenging temperaments. I've got two of my own. It's where all of my expertise was developed and cultivated, was with challenging kids, like super, super challenging kids. And it's all I know is that it's really important when you're seeking parenting advice to get it from somebody who understands what you're going through in your house. So if you're somebody who's just like, I don't, you know, my child, you know, it takes a few times for her to listen to me to stop jumping on the couch, but eventually she will, and it's fine. And you know, you just need like a little tweak here or there. Like the problems are really kind of minor, and your child's pretty well behaved. Like there's not much to do there except to work on yourself if you're somebody who's easily triggered, right? But if you are somebody who does have a challenging child, you're going to need a whole separate toolkit. You're going to need different skills. You're going to need different approaches to parenting. And you're going to need a different level of understanding of what's going on for your particular child. And that's stuff that is not talked about in most parenting blogs and articles. What you get there too is an extreme, like things that will typically work for most kids, and then you'll get like articles that are about really, really specific diagnoses for kids, like about kids who have very specific diagnoses. So what do you do if you've got a kid who's like in the middle of this challenging description, right? You've got a kid who has strong emotions, really big emotional swings, a child who does not know how to calm down very well on their own. You've got a child who, you know, has a lot of tantrums. You've got a child who maybe is being explosive, right, toward you, toward another parent, toward a sibling, and you're just at your wit's end. You're at your wit's end. And so you are the most prone to being a flip-flop parent, because the people who are in this group and who reach out to me to have parenting conversations are people who want to be parenting in a way that's more peaceful, that's more gentle. They don't want to be, the tyrant at home. They want to be having fun with their kids, right? But when that kind of parenting doesn't actually work for the child that you have, what do you do? Well, what most people do, like I said, is they flip to this other, like, super rigid, super structured. We're going to have all this routine. We're going to have all this discipline. We're going to have sticker charts. We're going to have, a positive reward system. We're going to, 30 stickers ends up with an ice cream cone and, and demerits and all these things that conventional parenting tells you to do that really don't work to bring you to that center spot, to that center sweet spot of parenting where you can be the authority, where you can also have fun, where you can cultivate respect in your home, where you don't have to repeat yourself a million times to be heard and to be listened to, and where you're moving out of being reactive, where you're just yelling and saying no all the time and being super serious all the time, where you can move out of that and become more responsive, right? Because that's really the name of the game, especially with kids who are challenging, who are going to be, they don't just push your buttons, they pound your buttons, challenging kids, right? If you have a challenging kid, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They don't just push your buttons, they pound your buttons. And if you're not prepared, if you don't have a very particular skill set in place to manage your own emotions around that experience, you are going to be going from one extreme to the other. There's just no other way. There's just no other way, because that's the way that, 99.9% of us were trained to be parents. You either, react quickly, and that's what a lot of the parenting books say, react super quickly and take care of it in the moment, or ignore it, right? That's really what it comes down to with conventional parenting advice, is nip it in the bud or ignore it completely. And it's like, nope, not with every kid, not with every situation, and most of the time not with challenging kids, right? There's got to be a period of time where you're giving yourself the ability to get into a responsive place instead of just reacting, because most of the time our reactions are not going to be our best foot forward. They're not going to be our best selves. Reactions are what happen when our emotional backs are against the wall, and it's what comes out of our mouths and how our bodies react, how our bodies display what's going on inside, without any kind of check on it, right? And so, yeah, I mean, if your reactions are, totally fine and you have no regrets after you have your reactions, then I got nothing for you in this conversation, then good for you, like, more power to you. But that's not why most people are coming to get parenting support, right? They're not coming here to get a pat on the back necessarily for what they're doing. They're coming because they're really struggling with something, right? And so I'm just trying to make sense out of what the struggle is and how to name it and what the goal is. And in order to get there, having to acquire a really specific skill set. So thank you for giving me your thumbs up. Whoever did that, I can't see. Oh, it's Haiti. Hi, Haiti. And I've got a couple of other people here too. So is this all, I hope this is all making sense. If this is making sense, you can give me your thumbs up or give me a heart. And if you have a question, since it's a small group today, I can go ahead and answer a question for you if you'd like. I've got a couple of minutes. So if you do have a question about this flip-flop parenting business, go ahead and you can post it here and I'll answer it for you. I don't normally do that in the talks, but I have some time today in a small group. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, is this notion of going from one extreme to the other and finding your sweet spot. And the other thing that I'll leave you with is that the main concept around finding your sweet spot is all about moving into a responsive way of parenting and out of your reactive self. That's where you're going to find yourself. And everybody's self is different, and everybody's way of parenting is absolutely going to be different. It's got to feel good for you. There's not one right way to parent, but I always say there is a right way for you, you people listening out there. You all have your way. And what you want to do is find how to achieve your way the best that you can. Because the minute you're not being your authentic self with your kids and you're trying to like be somebody else as a parent, they smell it, and it's like it just doesn't ring true, and you're going to get less and less respect, and you're going to get more and more frustrated. So I don't want that for you. I want you to be calm. I want you to be clear. I want you to be connected. I want you to be authentic in your parenting, because I want your kids to know who you are, and I want you to know who you are in your parenting. So if you are somebody who is looking to achieve that sweet spot, and if you are somebody who is really struggling with this flip-flopping and you don't know where is your center, where is your sweet spot, like you're really struggling with this, then I would love to have a conversation with you. I put this link up every time I talk to you guys. Book a call. It's free. It's 45 minutes. We will figure out what's going on and what you want, and carve out a game plan for you to get there. Okay, so I will post the link again. If it sounds like it's right for you, go ahead and book the call. And I'm just going to say that the calls are really reserved for people who want to make, who are really in like serious pain, like parenting pain now, and they want to make changes starting now. Okay, it's not a call to like, talk about things in general or parenting in general. If you've got something that's really going on for you at home and you want to fix it and you're motivated to fix it now, then I want to talk to you, and I want you to take advantage of the free call that I'm going to put up. Okay, so that's it for today. Find your sweet spot. Don't flip-flop. And if you are flip-flopping, at least now you understand why. And if you want to talk about this concept more, I'm going to give you the link, parentingparachute.com/call. And you can go ahead and book your call with me, or it'll be me or one of my teammates talking with you. And we look forward to having the call with you. We want to help you thrive and not just survive in your parenting. We've heard just about every parenting problem out there. We know how to fix them. And so, you can try to stump us, but it probably won't work. And we'd like to know if we can help you too, because we all really believe that we just get one shot at parenting. Our kids get one shot at childhood, and we want to help you make it the best that you can. All right, so book your call, and I will talk to you next time. Have a great day. Bye.